The new dungeon releasing this Friday is called Warlords Ruin, which may have some interesting implications. Recent information points to Lord Shaxx having a role in Season of the Wish. Shaxx was a warlord, so today we discuss Warlords Ruin. Does it involve Shaxx or a different warlord? A crashed orbital city where these ruins might be located, and the possible return of Siva. Before we jump in, this video was written and made before the new season's release, so if there's something in the trailer or new lore that points to more information that didn't exist yet. Today though, let's talk about Warlords and some speculation for the new dungeon. Before the Vanguard, before the city, the first Risen were known as Warlords. The Dark Age saw many warlords rule vast lands and territory across the ruined Earth. They would claim villages, weaponry, and treasures. Some warlords were okay and protected their people, while others just abused their light-given powers. The era of these warlords met its downfall when some of them would band together and create the Iron Lords, a group dedicated to uniting those remnants of humanity and stamping out the evil Risen among their ranks. Some warlords like Felwinter would join the Iron Lords, while others would be crushed by their might and will. There were many warlords and it would be cool to make a video on them all, which maybe we'll do with this new dungeon releasing, but today we have this brief overview. During the Dark Age, Shaxx was in fact a warlord and he had his own castle where he protected his own people. The Iron Lords and Felwinter would arrive one day and challenge Shaxx many times, trying to get him to join their ranks. Eventually, a standoff occurs between the Iron Lords and Warlords at Shaxx's castle. Shaxx refuses to join the Iron Lords but acknowledges the need to protect his people. Felwinter and Shaxx work together to ensure the safety of the inhabitants. Eventually though, he would join their side. In a recent video, we mentioned Shaxx's new lines for Festival of the Lost a couple of weeks ago, which was odd considering he hasn't had new lines for Destiny in years.
If you don't want to spectate, you could always participate. Nothing would give me greater pleasure than to see the Guardian throw you like a grenade.
Did Bungie simply have him record a couple of voice lines for the event, or is there more to it, perhaps a seasonal vendor for Wish, or maybe just involved with the dungeon's story? Shaxx's castle would make a great ruin to explore, but the question would be, why? What is so important there now and what would be the purpose? A more likely and interesting option could be Caer Lerion. Caer Lerion was a Golden Age orbital city that crashed into Earth during the collapse. The Terra Concord armor is actually forged from the wreckage of that ship, which is very cool. But this place also has connections to warlords. At the tail end of the Dark Age, most warlords were defeated or had joined the side of the Iron Lords and began to bond together, establish the last safe city under the Traveler. After the fall of most of them and when the city became a thing, Titan Veltarlo and Jagis Host found a warlord camping out in the ruins of Caer Lerion and brought them to the city. From Jagi to Saint 14. Category 8 Sad Bounce. Priority 3. Acting on intel from Hunter Vanguard of Paragita 4, my host made contact with the Lightbearers inhabiting the ruins of Caer Lerion. Recommend classification of said Lightbearer as Warlord. My host engaged, but the target occupied advantageous terrain and our ghost's resurrection times have increased by another 2.8%, a 0.6 increase from my last report. Further analysis is attached to this report. After several waves, a retreat seemed the only tactical option left to us. Before I could issue the command, a new variable entered the field from above. At first, I believed it to be a warsat. My initial assessment proved incorrect. The variable was a Titan who deployed himself from high ground to deliver an aerial-made assault upon the target. This provided a turning point in the battle, and we were soon able to incapacitate the Warlord and prepare him for return to the tower. I have asked the Titan to file his own report, which is also attached. End message. Jagis Host was a fireteam of 7 guardians. Jaggi was one among them, a host being a big group of guardians essentially. Many of these hosts were established to seek out information on the warbind Rasputin. Jagis Host specifically was stationed in the Cosmodrome near the Caspian Sea. The host encountered something around this area that was super powerful, so powerful that their ghosts had come back to the city without them and didn't want to discuss what had happened. The time ghosts from Jagis Host came back without them, remember? They got in that fight at some point east of the Caspian. 7 ghosts damn near silent, buzzing with some sort of corruption. Drifting back to the tower one by one, scared the speaker well enough. Now there's conflicting information about their current whereabouts or if they even survived what had happened. They were last seen marching south toward the Caspian Sea. Many believed what they found was in fact Siva, which could very well be possible, their ghost buzzing with its corruption. But Jagis Host and Caer Lerion would be a great lore story and setting for the dungeon. Not sure how it would tie into the current seasonal story if it does at all, maybe some Ahamkara tricks are involved and going on there, but like Caer Lerion, many warlords may have been hiding out in different locations, so this could be somewhere else entirely for the new dungeon. Another thing to talk about could be Siva. In the past, I believe Bungie said they're done with Siva, we'll never see it again, but the community goes crazy over Siva, and what if they brought it back to the drawing board? One of the new origin traits next season is called Nano-munitions. This could just be the name of this trait, or does it go deeper with the story? Siva or nanotech like from Neo-Muna. It all seems kind of weird though if the Warlords are involved. Most of the Iron Lords dealt with Siva, sure, but some other Risen were also exposed to its effects, like Jagis Host and Lord Shaxx. From the Remembrance web lore, we get information about Shaxxs Castle. Felwinter, Saladin, and Aphrodite sat at a massive oak table on a keep atop Felwinter's peak. A holographic blueprint of Shaxxs Castle hung in the air. It will take some time to breach the security codes, the Exo said, indicating an underground extension a mile under the fortification. But this is it, one of several across the Earth, perhaps across other worlds. Some are tied to more important systems than others, all Golden Age. Some hide weapons, armor, nanites. What is it? Saladin asked. A Seraph bunker, Rasputin tech. Anyway, Guardians, that's all we have for today's video. What are your thoughts on the Warlords Ruin dungeon? Will it involve Shaxxs Castle, Caer Lerion, or something else entirely? If you'd like to see some more Destiny lore and mysteries just like this video, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video.